If you were to ask me for a list of my favorite films, Paul Verhoeven's 1995 film, Showgirls, would most definitely be included. What was met with rocky reception at the time of its release is now considered a cult classic film. The film stars names such as Gina Gershon, who would go on to star in the Wachowskis' Bound a year later, and Kyle MacLachlan, fresh off his role as Agent Dale Cooper in the TV show Twin Peaks. At the forefront of the film is Elizabeth Berkley. Known for her role in the 90s sitcom Saved by the Bell, Elizabeth Berkley essentially became a child star. She auditioned for the show at 15 years old and finished it in 1992 at age 21. And as with many child stars, all eyes were on her to see where she would head to next. After the conclusion of the show, Berkley has said, "Saved by the Bell was a beautiful first rite of passage for me. But as an artist, I was excited to dive a little deeper and explore." And after multiple smaller roles in TV and film, Berkley would soon come to star in Showgirls. Vastly different from Berkley's Saved by the Bell, the NC-17 rated Showgirls tells the story of a young drifter named Nomi Malone, played by Berkley, and her rise to fame within the business of showgirls on the Las Vegas Strip. Arriving in Vegas, Nomi becomes friends with Molly, a costume designer for the Stardust Casino show, Goddess. Nomi quickly begins pole dancing at a gentleman's club called Cheetahs and meets Gina Gershon's Crystal Connors. The movie's main antagonist, Crystal, is the lead female in Goddess. The two immediately disagree. Nomi classifies her job as being a dancer, while Crystal believes what she does is akin to prostitution. Later, Crystal brings her boyfriend, Zach Carey, the entertainment director at Stardust Casino, to Cheetahs and requests a lap dance from Nomi for the both of them. Although Crystal is bisexual and obviously attracted to Nomi, the act is to humiliate Nomi and prove her point of her work being like prostitution. Eventually, Crystal lands Nomi an audition for the chorus line at Goddess, and despite leaving the audition after the show's director humiliates her, she lands the gig. And after dealing with the shenanigans Crystal puts her in, Nomi seeks out revenge and takes Crystal's lead role in the show. She seduces Crystal's boyfriend Zach and acquires the fame that Crystal had. With purposeful similarities to Crystal, Nomi becomes a replacement and throws in the idea that anyone can be replaceable. That's not about the person, rather the X factor and sex appeal the person beholds and brings to life on stage as a lead is what truly matters in the industry. As the film reaches its climax, the fame is not as glamorous as Nomi once thought it was, eventually leading Nomi to end exactly where she started. The film would go on to be released in theaters on September 22, 1995, and was met with overwhelmingly negative reviews. Criticism included the overabundance of nudity being exploitative towards women and most notably unhated performance of Elizabeth Berkley, with the character of Nomi Malone to be purposely over the top and satirical. Critics did not view it in that way. A New York Times review even detailed Berkley's Nomi to be the open-mouthed, vacant-eyed look of an inflatable party doll. With what was supposed to be a role that would branch Berkley out as an adult actress, led her to be blacklisted of sorts. Berkley recalls, "I was bullied and I didn't understand why I was being blamed. The job as an actress to fulfill the vision of the director, and I did everything I was supposed to do." That year, the film was nominated for 11 Golden Raspberry Awards, Razzies, the anti-Oscars for the worst of the year. The film went on to win 7 of the 11 awards, with director Paul Verhoeven actually accepting his award as Worst Director, highly uncommon for nominees to do. And at the 1999 Razzie Awards, it won Worst Picture of the Decade, along with 2 nominations for Worst Actress and New Star of the Decade for Elizabeth Berkley. With the overwhelming hate comes praise and embracement from the LGBTQ+ community, and soon Showgirls became a staple in the tradition of midnight movie screenings. Eventually the film was starting to be loved, with even MGM promoting it again a year later with screenings and home video rentals. The film eventually entered its home as being a cult classic along with films such as The Rocky Horror Picture Show and Heathers. It's also within the category of films being so bad it's good. Showgirls has even been recreated on RuPaul's Drag Race as well as Ariana Grande and Liz Gillies for Halloween. Today, Paul Verhoeven has shared his opinion on the newfound cult following, saying, "Maybe this kind of ritualistic cult popularity isn't what I intended, but it's like a resurrection after the crucifixion." Elizabeth Berkley shared her feelings on the film, as it really pushed the boundaries at the time and now has been embraced. not misunderstood, but truly embraced. In my opinion, I would consider Showgirls a satirical dark comedy exploring ideas such as the American dream and the nature of sex work. Ahead of its time, with audience appreciating it more now that certain topics are not as taboo as they used to be. It explores the nature of the entertainment business and the viewing of entertainers as a way to make cash rather than the actual person behind the talent. It's an over-the-top movie with over-the-top scenes and raunchy dialogue, but it fits. By allowing yourself to embrace the raunchiness of the film like you would any John Waters film, it can be enjoyable with undertones of deeper ideas poking out within its absurdity.